Amigo, não tem problema, amigo. Amigo, eu não tenho problema, amigo. Amigo.
Oh, don't pee, man. Sorry.
Move back. Out the way, boys. Out the way. You're gonna get knocked down. Move.
The Great Somali Roundup has begun in Minnesota.
We are one community. We're neighbors.
I think Donald J. Trump is one of the most honest politicians. He's not even a career politician. He's a businessman. And for me, I think of him as an independent. Had he not been in the Republican Party, I would have never voted for him. I already voted for him. And all these smear campaigns against him, I think they are false.
And today, in front of my own community and the rest of our society, I'm telling you, I am no longer a Democrat. I have left that party.
Good for you. Good for you.
I have left that party, and I'm sticking to my conscience. I don't care what is politically expedient. I don't care what you look like, who you pray to. I'm a person of deep Muslim faith, Abrahamic religion.
We love our brothers and sisters who are Democrats, but you left us. And because the left left us, join the right, vote for Trump 2024, vote for George Rape 2024, vote for Maisie Young in St. Paul 2024, vote for Tajud in CD3 2024, vote for Tom Emma, our lion out of St. Cloud. Farhan is here and is endorsing him. And please go out and vote, because voting for Trump without soldiers is giving him a failure. So please vote. Again, for the school boards, we have a ton of people running who are in the school board from all over the state. And please go vote for the Republican Party this time. Thank you so much.
We are here to support President Donald Trump and his policy about how to make America great and safe.
And we're gathered here today to fully support and endorse President Trump and J.D. Vance.
Amen.
So the community came together and fully is standing behind President Donald J. Trump.
Yes.
Good.
I come here today to give
Imam.
the endorsement to the President Trump, because they're focusing our issue to end the war, also to make safety for our community.
Under President Trump, we had a booming economy where people could afford their groceries and gas. Under Kamala Harris, prices are going through the roof. And under President Trump, we had a secure southern border stopping the flow of fentanyl that is coming into this country. And under Kamala Harris, we have a wide open border where drugs are flowing into our country. Under Kamala Harris,
looking at how ICE handled the man in the first video, that is very sad. And it is not acceptable. There is no human being who should be handled in a such way. These are the human beings who left their country because of civil war that is happening in Somalia. And it is still happening even today. These Somalians are not only in the USA, they are in more other countries. They are in the UK, they are in Kenya, they are in Ethiopia. And they have left their country not on their will, just because of the war that was happening in their country. So, they should be handled with respect. But again, here is where these Somalis were wrong. They endorsed the wrong candidate. They supported the wrong candidate. They fell for the lies of Donald Trump. They fell for his rhetoric. You all have seen how those Somali leaders endorsed him during the November election. But I want you to watch this clip of Donald Trump, and then you'll be shocked.
I don't want him in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want him in our country. Their country is no good for a reason. Their country stinks, And we don't want them in our country. I can say that about other countries too. I can say it about other countries too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other. And we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country.
There was him talking about the same people who voted for him. The same people who campaigned for him. The same people whom you've seen endorsing him. You would expect him to reward them with protection? But Trump have said it out loud. He's not a fan of immigrants. And these Somalis are finding it out. Just keep watching the rest of the clips, and at the end I will come back and give you the full insight of what is really happening in Minnesota.
She broke it. Donald Trump will fix it again.
Coming together being like, oh, Trump 2025, Trump for president. And they went on a podium endorsing Donald Trump and supporting his campaign. Now, it didn't even take a full year before Donald Trump turns his back on these old heads, telling them, I don't want you nasty Somalians in this country. The same exact old heads who were endorsing and supporting Trump's campaign are now being insulted on national television. Now, ain't this karma at its finest?
What would you say to the president if he were standing here right now?
Mr. President, we campaigned for you. We have hope in you. We see hope in you. Please differentiate between good, bad, and evil.
That's a Somali immigrant who voted for President Trump in 2024, but now Trump is demonizing Somalis in America, specifically here in Minnesota.
We are the secular, we are the chosen people. We will have our own group and we're Somalis. So you're black, you're white, you're black, you're white, you're black. No, you're Somali.
I am Somali.
You're black, you're white, you're black, you're white, but you're Somali.
No, but
well, we are Somali.
They saying
if you had to go into black or white, which are you choosing?
Obviously, I'm gonna be
That's
black,
what I'm saying. So you're a black African Somali woman.
And he's saying that he wants Somali people gone. He says that he does not like them. He says that I guess the areas that they live in are poverty stricken and, you know, they're not good people. And that's why they don't even want to live in their own country. And he knows that it's not politically correct to say that, but he don't like them and he wants them gone. There's a lot of immigrants that are learning the hard way that, you know, your proximity to whiteness means nothing. There's a reason why a lot of black people don't care to be, you know, in white spaces. They don't care to bootleg or none of that. There's a reason, because at the end of the day, whether you believe that you're black or not, I'm not black, I'm Somali, they don't care. So now these leaders have gotten on, you know, national television, told their community to vote for this man, their community that probably trusts them, and that same man is talking down on them as people, talking down on their country, and wants them gone. To no surprise. And then you have Somalis now tweeting, you know, that black Americans think it's funny. They're not worried about, you know, what's happening to Somalis when, you know, this is just going to intensify racial profiling and they're now going to be racially profiled. I'm so sorry. Somali people, yeah, some of y'all are beautiful, but there's no way in hell you're going to look at me and tell me that I look like I'm from Somali. You know that I don't look like, I look like an African American. I'm not getting racially profiled as somebody from Somali. I'm so sorry. They have very distinct features and it does not align with what I look like. So no, I am not worried. And I feel bad for the ones who were not naive and not dumb, but this is something that you have to take up with your community, not mine.
TPS does not impact that many Somalis. Like you said, the numbers are small because the vast majority of Somali Minnesotans who are here are naturalized citizens or they are born here, right? And America is our home now. We are Somali Americans. We are proud, regardless of the negative stories and things that they push against our community.
We're dealing with families not being able to afford their groceries. We see our food shelves running out. Instead of that, he decided to also pit our communities against each other. And what we're saying is that is a distraction. The reality is that people are struggling. Our communities are struggling.
I want our government to stand up for the immigrants, for documented and undocumented people, because the Constitution protects all of us. I think that Somalis in particular have been the scapegoat. People have kind of highlighted, a few bad apples, painting a broad picture of just how all Somalis are, and that's not the case at all. If you look around, we are business owners, we're doctors, we're teachers, we're lawyers, we're mothers, people just trying to make a better life for themselves.
My Somali students are not a problem.
racism is a problem. And my Somali friends are not a problem. Islamophobia is a problem. My Somali neighbors are not a problem. The intersection of white supremacy and capitalism is a problem. The president's rhetoric about Somali people is false, disgusting, divisive, racist, Islamophobic. The list goes on and on. The point of these raids in Minneapolis is to harass and terrorize Black people and Muslim people. That's it. That's the entire point, right? There is no reason to be going after the entire Somali community. It has to be about Ilhan Omar. I think it has to be, because she's effective, she's genuine, she has the support and love of her constituents, and the Trump regime just can't stand that. Never mind the fact that she's never taken a cent of Israeli money, and that she was an adamantly against the genocide in Palestine from the very beginning. Ooh!
ICE is in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. Trump is using them to target our Somali neighbors. He is saying some racist, horrific things about Somalis. But you know what? It's not surprising. It's who he is. And it's even worse when things aren't going well for him, and they're not going well right now. But we have to remember that he's picking on Somalis now. He picks on folks that are less able to defend themselves. It's been Mexicans, it's been trans folks, you name it, and there will be more. But what I want to say is we value our Somali neighbors. We love having them as part of our community. They're an important part of our community, and we welcome them here and stand by them.
I'm not mad at the Somali people. I want y'all to hear me loud and clear. I am not mad at the Somali people in the state of Minnesota. I'm not mad at them. You know why I'm not mad at them? Because what they're doing is what happens when people come together to build an empire. And that's what they have done and are doing. They have created an empire in the state of Minnesota. And they are unified by one ideology, by one politics called Islam. They're not divided by some gender ideology. They're not divided by feminism. They're not divided by some type of queer politics or anything like that. They're not divided by liberalism. Because Islam, the kind of Islam they practice, it is resistant to liberalism. It is resistant to feminism. It is resistant to any type of ideology that would disrupt them internally. And you know what's so interesting? I'm going to say this. You know what's so interesting? What they're doing is what the Nation of Islam has been preaching since the 1930s. The Nation of Islam has tried to get Black Americans to do the same doggone thing since the 1930s. Elijah Muhammad preached it, Malcolm X preached it, Louis Farrakhan preached it. But now you see this thing in action in the state of Minnesota among the Somali people. And the president has a dilemma. And the dilemma is this, is that these people are entrenched, they are a part of this society right now. Many of them are citizens. He can't deport all of them, and they're having babies. That's the thing. They are outbreeding the whites, and they're collective. I've been to Kenya, I've been to Africa, I've been to Uganda. I see how they work together in those countries. And what they're doing in those countries is what they're doing right here. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Shout out to the Islamic Kingdom in the state of Minnesota.
The Somali refugees / immigrants / unnaturalized citizens have no desire to join the American way of life. Their goal is to move in, fake assimilate, and change our country to theirs. How do I know? Watch the news where over $1 billion was stolen from Minnesota taxpaying citizens. And guess what? Our judicial system threw it out. Is that not un-American?
All roads lead to Mogadishu, Somalia. I've booked my flight. By the end of this year, I'm moving to Somalia full time, bro. The West does not want us here anymore, so it's cool, we're cutting. You man are saying all roads lead to Rome. I'm saying all roads lead to Somalia, bro. I'm gonna start up a new life there. I don't know who I'm gonna meet. I might meet some criminals on the run, but that's live. I'm trying to meet some drill rappers. I'm trying to meet a few people out there. I'm not only gonna be going to Mogadishu, obviously the whole country is non-extradition treaty, innit?
Pardon my French in advance, but did y'all hear what Donald Trump had to say recently about Somalian Americans that live in Minnesota? That they are garbage people, and that all they do is bitch and complain, and that they need to be sent back to where they come from. They come from hell, is what Donald Trump said. But meanwhile, back at the ranch, Donald Trump has been complaining about the Epstein files. Talking about the affordability crisis is a Democrat hoax, but yet and still, he ran his 2024 presidential campaign on affordability. And as a matter of fact, got elected because of that. But now it's a hoax. The Epstein file hoax shouldn't be released. Now it's being released. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, y'all tell me if I'm wrong, looks like a lot of bitching is coming from the White House. Not that many years ago, Donald Trump's own wife was complaining about the Christmas trees and saying she didn't give a F about them. You gonna round her up? Because that is ultimately what the objective is. Donald Trump says these people need to go back, so they're going to put ICE on it to send these people back to Somalia. But what's crazy is a lot of these people are actual citizens of the U.S. So since we're going to round people up for complaining and bitching, I guess ICE better get ready to round us all up, along with Donald's wife and Donald Trump himself. I think his people originated from Germany. Let's send him back. How about that? And let's send Melania back to whatever Slavic country she come from. How about that? Since he tired of people bitching and complaining.
Donald Trump, what he said has to be the biggest eye-opener for all of the Somali expats living in the West. Put things to perspective, I'm a Somali, British-born Somali. Grew up in the UK, London to be precise, and I moved to Hargeisa about a year and a half ago. And it was the best decision I've ever made. Because I've been living here, I'm stress-free, I go about my day, no one says anything to me, this is my country, right? At the end of the day, this is my country. And this is the thing about us immigrants. We get caught up in building other people's countries. If I was an American, I would be straight away thinking about how to get back to Somalia, Somaliland, wherever you come from. Why? Because how are you contributing to a country that sees you that badly? And by the way, Donald Trump is the only one who's actually vocal about it. There's others that think the same thing. That's why I say the least that you can do is build up your own country. And I'm not saying go into politics. You're contributing to your country just by living there. I would just advise my Somali American brothers and sisters, especially those living in Minnesota. Invest in your own land. Invest in your own country. Don't waste your efforts on pleasing another man and another country.
There's a lot of African Americans, right? They're like so hateful on TikTok. Let me remind you of all the African American. There was a time where police were unaliving a lot of African Americans. But when it comes to the state of Minnesota, the Somali people that you guys spewing so much hate on, let me tell you about what happened during George Floyd. When George Floyd happens, we understood that when you come for one black man, you're coming for all of us. And we stood by them. We raised our voices. There's no way anybody who were among those protesters can say that Somali people were not among them. We were among them. We raised voices. We chanted Black Lives Matter with our chest open wide. So for you all to just come at us like that when we support it, that's insane. That's insane. Oh my God. Stop it.
I need one reason why Somalians, they say they are not blacks. I have a lot of friends that are Somalian. I love their women. Some of the Somalians that I know are nice people, amazing. But I want y'all to give me one reason why you guys say you are not blacks. You are Somali or Somalians. Us as Africans, as blacks, we want to know that reason. Because it seems like some of you Somalians are getting out of hands. So we need to know. Nothing's alive, not joke.
These attacks against Somali folk in Minnesota are about the creation and maintenance of a white ethno-state in America. That's actually not even an opinion that I have. The Trump administration is telling us that explicitly. They are telling us that when the Department of Homeland Security is explicitly tweeting about remigration, which is a far-right European concept about ethnic cleansing, and they are telling us that when they are welcoming white South Afrikaners, pretending that they are being marginalized in post-apartheid South Africa. Everything that this administration and this country, everything that this country does is about maintaining the power of white people to have privilege and to rule. That includes immigration policies, that includes the boat strikes that they're doing in the Caribbean, that includes the war they're manufacturing consent for in Venezuela, it includes the demonization of DEI policies, right? All of it is about the maintenance of white supremacy. And I don't say any of this to be flippant, right? But I do think that folks often assume that there is a more complex reason that we are seeing and experiencing what we are, and it actually isn't, right? It's just white supremacy, right? And I think that like policy and political folks try to obfuscate that reality, but the reality is that they think that this country is by and for white people, and they want the rest of us to leave. So yesterday it was Haitians in Ohio, today it is Somali folk in Minnesota, and tomorrow it will be some other marginalized immigrant group, right? And they will not be happy until Black and brown folks are eradicated from this country. Because to be clear, this is not just about immigration, right? The people they really want gone is Black American folks, right? They hate that we are not slaves anymore, right? And they will not stop until all of us, Black people, as the final boss, they will not be happy until all of us are gone.
Oi there, mateys. America has been taken over by some Somalian pirates. Yo, I'm telling you, let me tell you, I don't like the hate on immigrants. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm having fun with this one. I'm gonna tell you, I was like kind of sympathetic to them, but these Somalians for real are out of control. Watch this video and we're gonna break down the ridiculous things they've been saying all over social media. Let's go. I think this is like one of the most ridiculous claims I've read. So they have this thing where they think that they're entitled to America because they said that it was promised to them 3,000 years ago. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't even get through this. Wait till you see this. So this individual said, not many people know Abraham Lincoln's grandfather was of Somali descent. One of the founding fathers. If this isn't the biggest crock of shit, I don't know what is. So I was like, of course, I got to research this. Is this true? So I asked my homegirl ChatGPT, and let's see what she. No, Abraham Lincoln was not Somalian. He was English, Scottish, Irish, and Welsh. And it only gets worse, guys. I don't know. Like, the delusion is crazy. Like for real. Trump, you need to get these people up out of here. I think this has to be the most hilarious one of them all. A Native American Somali man whose ancestors and tribes dwelled from the land of Minnesota for centuries. Fun fact, traditional dishes like banana and rice were served in Thanksgiving back in those days also. Yo, foundational Americans, in particular FBAs, what do you guys think of this? Like, this is hilarious. Like, Tariq Nasheed, I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to get up in this either. And I'm an African Arabic woman, and I want nothing to do with this. Like, these people are delusional. Like, Trump, you cannot get them out of here fast enough. And the last one I'm saving for last is the best one. A massive police presence is now at Carmel Mall, the biggest Somali mall in Minnesota, to protect the communities from ICE. Yes, Minnesota was promised to us 3,000 years ago, and we're not going anywhere.
And you know why Minnesota is one of the places that actually outside of East Africa, they have the largest Somali population, is because Minnesota was a perfect state, frankly, because of the infrastructure, the social services. The Lutherans and Catholic Charities were actually very instrumental in ensuring that refugees came to a place where they would be successful. And Minnesota was that place. The president obviously doesn't understand that the Somali immigrants in Minnesota, the people who came through the program, they came through a legal U.S. admissions refugee program. And so when he is talking in a very racist is the only way to describe it, racist and dehumanizing way about an entire demographic of people, he is talking about teachers, healthcare workers, people's friends, families, and neighbors, members of Congress.
Right.
The derogatory way in which he continues to speak about Congresswoman Ilhan Omar should prompt every single member of the United States Congress, Democrat or Republican, to stand up and say, I just can't get with the racism. That's the very least they could do, regardless if you think you agree with Congresswoman Ilhan Omar or not. What he is doing is racist and is dangerous. He is putting a target on the back of these folks, and he is using the full weight of the federal government to.
All right. Let me share my thoughts about this whole situation of Somali people in Minnesota in the USA, especially with everything that is happening between them, Trump, immigration talks, and even the reactions online. Because honestly, what we are seeing right now is bigger than politics. It's about identity, culture, understanding, and even consequences. The first thing that I'm gonna say is this. A lot of these Somalis who supported and backed Trump during the 2024 election, they didn't read or understand Project 2025. If they did, they would have known that one of the main goals was to tighten immigration and remove people who were not born in the United States. When I see videos of these Somalis cheering for Trump, calling him a great man, supporting him with full confidence, it really made me think that they didn't know what they were voting for, or they did just see Trump through emotion, not information that was available online. Because the people who did understand Trump's policies were not shocked after seeing all of these migration talks coming back. Some people tried to warn these Somalis, especially Black Americans, but back then those warnings were ignored. Now, the second thing that I want to talk about is integration. And listen, I'm not judging anybody. I am just speaking honestly. How can someone spend 10, 15, 20 years in the USA and still barely speak English? I am an African. I've never lived in the USA, but I can speak better English than some of those folks who have been living in the USA for decades. For me, that doesn't show pride in the culture. It shows that some of these folks didn't have the intention to integrate in the American system at all. And don't get me wrong, keeping your culture is not a bad thing. And I said it in the previous video. There is nothing wrong with speaking your language at home, eating your food, just practicing your own customs and culture things, even if you are not in your country. But here is the difference. Some other immigrants group in the US, they still do that. They speak their language, they cook their food, they practice their religion, but they still integrate in the American system. They engage with the system and they try to build their new life in that new country, not just keeping things the way they were when they were in their country. But many Somalis in Minnesota created a bubble, a separate world inside Minnesota. Same language, same school, same marriage, same business networks, the same everything. It's almost like the small Somalia in Minnesota. And when you live like that, you can end up with the benefits of America, citizenship, housing, education, without truly becoming a part of the country. And that can create a tension, especially if the community does not treat the host country with respect. Now, here's the part that gets complicated. Many Somalis in America still seem to have their loyalty tied to Somalia instead of the United States. Some activists, some politicians, some business owners, they openly say that they want to help Somalia first. If Somalia is a country to be proud of, then why not go back and help in rebuilding it? Why not take those skills, those experiences, that money back to the country that they always say that they love? Because you cannot say that I'm proud of Somalia while refusing to live there and refusing to integrate in a country that gave you safety. Now, when Black Americans speak up about this situation, I understand why some of them feel frustrated. For many decades, a lot of Somalis in the United States tried to distance themselves from black Americans. They would proudly say things like, we are not black, or we are different, or we don't mix with other cultures. They would marry only within their own group, live only within their group, and sometimes even talk down on black Americans. But now, when troubles shows up, suddenly the language changes. Suddenly it becomes, we are black. We are all together. We need to support each other. And I am understanding when some black Americans are saying, now you need us, while you didn't want to claim us before. And I would say that that is not hate. That is a reaction to behavior. At the end of the day, if you was not born in America, or your parents were not born in America, you have got your citizenship through naturalization. Probably you came from Jamaica, or you came from Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, and you just got citizenship through naturalization. Your citizenship is not always guaranteed, like how the citizenship is granted to the FBAs, the Foundational Black Americans. If you came through TPS, green card, refugee status, or even naturalization, you were born there from immigrant parents, the government can still review your paperwork. They can revoke your status if they find the fraud or criminal records on your status. And this is not something new. It was even done on people from other countries. You all remember the man Glacia who was from, I don't remember, was he from Venezuela? I don't remember. That the man was a US citizen and his status was revoked, was deported back to Venezuela. My message to all immigrants in the USA, not only Somalis, but all immigrants in the USA, the message is this: don't act like the system will treat you like how it will treat black Americans. Don't act like nothing will ever happen to you. If America gave you safety, protection, opportunities, please respect that. Learn the language, follow the laws, integrate and contribute. And for Somali folks who are going through all of this, I don't wish deportation on anybody because it hurts. I know many of your families are scared. Some kids are now confused. People who have built their lives in the USA are now unaware of what is going to happen. That is painful and that is real. But this situation should also be a lesson, not only to these Somalis, but to all immigrants. You cannot live in a country and then act like you don't belong to it. You cannot reject a community and then expect them to fight for you later. And you cannot benefit from the system, but disconnect from the people. This is not about hate. This is about the reality of what is really happening in Minnesota. I would like to hear from your own opinions, guys. What are your opinions about these deportations that is happening in Minnesota?